What's up, everyone? My name is Paula, and I'm here to talk to you guys about what equipment should you upgrade and when. Now, I know this seems a little bit weird, but I feel like I want to give some advice and give some feedback because I'm someone that spent thousands upon thousands of dollars, equipment, different cameras, and I've come to the conclusion I feel like if I could go back in time, this is what I would do and when, and why it's important to upgrade these things at a certain time. Now, before I get into the video, the first thing I want to say is I'm going to pause the music to make this dramatic. Use the damn equipment you've got to make content. Why? Because you don't need to go spend thousands of damn dollars, go into debt, and all of a sudden find out that you don't like the process of making videos. And then all of a sudden it just goes to waste and you just spend thousands of dollars on what? Don't go wasting your money and be like me and try to be more financially responsible. Now, let's get into it. Okay, so as I am very, very prepared for this, and I have this set up very professionally, okay? I have this very high-end app called Notepad where I'm going to be typing a lot of this stuff in so you guys can see it as well. How and when to upgrade stream equipment. My suggestion is make sure you guys have equipment that can actually run the games or content that you want to create. So if you want to do just chatting, get stuff for just chatting. Make sure your computer is good enough for just chatting, or even just use your phone and do just chatting that way. If you want to go ahead and do a lot of gaming content, make sure you can run the game that you want and stream it at the same time. You got a console, there's plenty of other options too that you can use online things to make your stream look better, but stream from your console. Make sure your computer can run what you need. Obviously it's going to be hard because everyone else has a different budget and stuff like that, but I would say something that's like an i5 with like a 30 series card, I think should do just well. Also, you don't have to stream at 1080p or anything like that too. Here's another little like side note. Let me see. You don't need to stream at 1080p. I'm not streaming at 1080p, just an FYI. So yeah, because let's be honest, how many people in the chat have me full screen right now? That looks like a big fat no. No one's got me full screen. Make sure it can run. Doesn't have to be 1080p. 720p looks fine because guess what? No one is going to full screen your freaking stream. And if they do, it's on a phone. And guess what? It doesn't matter if it's 720p or 1080p on the phone. It's a small screen. It's going to look great anyways, so don't worry about that. All right, number 2 is microphone, right? Your microphone, sound. People are multitasking. They're not watching your stream, so you don't need a DSLR camera or mirrorless camera before you get a good microphone or a really nice microphone. I would say get a microphone that sounds good. Now, you're probably like, well, what microphone sounds good? What am I going to get? Okay, so one that I would definitely do, let's go to Amazon because that's the easiest place to do it at. Okay, bam, that's what I would do. Look at that, $110. Not only is this a phenomenal sounding microphone, okay, this microphone sounds fantastic, but it also gives you software to be able to control your audio, which is huge. All right, there are so many mixers in the game that don't even give you this ability to do that, or interfaces for XLR microphones that don't have this capability. I will tell you right now, this is probably my favorite part of my Go XLR that I have, having the ability to control audio. And the best part is you can control it between you and your stream as well too. They can hear that. So I would recommend this. If that is a little bit too much, again, I always recommend start out with what you got. So if you got a webcam mic or whatever, you can do that. But if you're investing some money, this is where I would go. Yeah, no, all right. I've definitely seen this microphone. I've heard it before. Good sounding microphone. That's definitely a good mic too. But I personally, again, I think software wise, I would rather have the Wave mic or the Wave mic or Wave. Although I will say one thing that's nice is that this does have a shock mount built into it. Number 3, webcam. Now, this does not have to be super important. Notice how I didn't say crazy, expensive, like DSLR, Sony A7 5600 S2, whatever. Like, I didn't say any of that. I said a webcam. Yes, start out with a webcam. I would say the C920 is still a phenomenal camera. There's like now there's different variants of this, right? There's like the C922, the C9 like 20S or something like that, I think it is. There's a bunch of different ones, right? And they range anywhere from like $50 to $100 for this webcam. Any of those will work. If you want to spend the money on it, you want to get a high quality webcam. The Elgato face cam is fantastic. Absolutely amazing when it comes to movement and stuff like that. I actually did a review on this as well too. So in case you want, link somewhere in the YouTube description below. The Elgato face cam is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. It's great. It's fantastic. And yeah, it looks fantastic. It looks crisp. But yes, also too, there is a subcategory to this, I would say as well. All right. I would say a subcategory would be your lighting. All right. Lighting is also, okay, important. Now we're going to put number 4, lighting. Let's talk about lighting. Okay. You don't need anything crazy. Currently, if you guys could see it on my wall, I'm going to try and use my hug cam and see if you can see it. Yeah, look. I have the Elgato, what is it? I have the Elgato Keylight Air bouncing off of the wall at me. That is my main light source, okay? Now, granted, depending on what kind of a camera you have, you might have to bounce it directly at yourself, but I have it just bouncing off the wall at me, and it provides enough light for my camera. This is literally the first light that I used. Okay. This is my first light that I used on my stream, was a clamp light. Okay. I saw Peter McKinnon talk about this hack about using this, maybe foam core to bounce it off the wall and bounce it against you. So even if you don't have a wall next to you, you can use foam core to bounce it, or you can even put foam core on the wall to make it white, so it reflects just a white light at you, so you can control the color temperatures. But I literally used this bouncing off a wall to light my streams. That was the first light that I started out with. Doesn't have to be crazy. First off, what I would say after all that stuff, I would say invest in learning. I know it's not really equipment or editing. All right, I know it's not equipment or anything like that, but last thing I would say is invest in learning, invest in yourself, invest in tools about editing and stuff like that, invest in paying people to edit or help you with TikTok and stuff like that. There's plenty of inexpensive ways to do it. You also have professional companies like Zygo Media that I work with, which they help me with my YouTube videos as well too. They actually edited this one. Thank you guys so much. Mwah. But they even do that, period. Easy to do. Make sure you invest in yourself. A lot of people skip this step, but you need to make sure that you're investing yourself and investing into your stream and reinvesting it. All right. Bam. Make sure you reinvest it. Harris Heller started out with himself, and then he started out with Sam. Right now, he's got a full-fledged team of people working with him. He has multiple editors now. He also has a music producer that works with him as well too. This guy literally went from working by himself, employing one person, to now employing multiple people. If that tells you anything, invest in your team as well too. Invest in your team. If you're looking for like the next levels, all right, we're gonna do some like next level stuff. So we're talking like XLR mics, Sures, and stuff like that. Here's what I recommend. Okay, for XLR, Wave XLR, bam. So Wave XLR or the Go XLR Mini is what I would say. One of these two. It's actually perfect. This popped up. I would say one of these two. Okay, this is probably a better value if you plan on in the future going to a dual PC setup. Then the Go XLR is probably a great way to go because it makes it super easy. If you guys have questions on how to do a dual PC setup, again, link in the description below. I have a whole video on how to do it. It was annoying to record, but hopefully you guys like it. But anyways, yes, one of these two is what I would say would be a great way to go. They offer amazing sound quality. The Elgato Wave XLR has fantastic plugins. So if you don't care about doing a dual PC setup and stuff like that, I would say I would go with the Elgato Wave XLR. If at some point you're going to invest in a dual PC setup, then I think the Go XLR is the way to go. But both of these are fantastic. Both of them can power Shure SM7B, which is not going to be the mic I'd recommend to power with this unless you're really far down the road and you're really invested in streaming. But these are both two really good options that I would do. Now, what mic would I pair with this? It's gonna blow your mind, dude. This, the Rode Pod mic. I would encourage you to buy this. This mic, I have a review on it. This mic is fantastic. It sounds awesome. When you EQ it, honestly, there was very little differences you could tell between this and my Shure SM7B. And if I really wanted to get granular with it, I probably could have even tweaked it a little bit more to give it some more boom to it, because it was a little bit bright. But phenomenal microphone for $100. And again, I also want to point out the fact that, let's go back to Amazon real quick. Shure SM7B, $400 microphone, right? So you can buy the Wave XLR and or the Go XLR or the Wave XLR, and you can buy the pod mic, and it's still less money than just one Shure SM7B. I honestly don't even see a point in having this Shure SM7B unless you're really, really like full-time or like on your way to full-time or really, really into it, or if you just want to spend your money that way. But Shure SM7B is fantastic, but honestly, dude, this thing sounded great. Also, do a little bit of research because your voice is going to change the way that it sounds on this. Because think about it, like what's other miscellaneous equipment that we need to put in here, right? Stream Deck, some sort of a foot pedal, maybe even the Stream Deck foot pedal, I would say is a fantastic thing that I would definitely highly recommend having, right? Highly recommend having those. Maybe a gaming chair or ergo chair would be something in there, right? Capture cards. Yeah, capture cards kind of probably almost like go underneath number one, right? Because if you're like, hey, I want to stream consoles all the time and stuff like that, I would say do it number one. But eventually down the road, capture cards are going to be some other miscellaneous things you might want to buy and sprinkle them in through here. Stream Deck, I would almost do like a 3B or a 4B where I would put the Stream Deck, because the Stream Deck just makes life so much like better. Extra monitors. Yup. Extra monitors. Love it. Love it. Extra monitor. All this 100% true. All these things I'd say you want to buy these and sprinkle them in kind of at your suggestion. I would at least maybe go through this list all the way down to lighting and then maybe do like a stream deck or something like that, because I think a stream deck really is that worth like having up there. So I would even put like, you know, maybe like what is it, a 4B right here, and put stream deck. Now somewhere down the line, after getting like XLR mics and all that stuff, and maybe even after like, you know, after generating, you know, some revenue, after you're creating a monthly income that's pretty substantial, like a good amount, you know, then I would go ahead and do that. But that is basically my tier list of where I would do as far as like streaming and stuff like that. So first, foremost, OBS is better than Streamlabs, 100%. Number one, make sure you guys have equipment that can run the games that you want to go ahead and do as far as like gaming or content that you want to do, whether it's cooking streams or whatever. Make sure you guys have the content to do it. Number two would be make sure that you guys are upgrading your microphone, because again, there's barely anyone that watches your streams 100% of the time, right? Like not everyone's going to sit there and just watch your streams. They're also going to listen to it and multitask. So being able to hear a crisp, clean voice is way more important than having this beautiful, you know, 4K freaking webcam that you don't really need right off the rip. Get a webcam, C920, C922, C922S or whatever. Doesn't have to be anything insane. And then, you know, if you really want to spring for it, the Elgato face cam. How much is the face cam right now? What is that, like 150, 170? Yes, 170 bucks. So although people might be like, oh, well, that's really expensive, why not just get a DSLR camera? Because a DSLR camera is going to run you well over $1,000 something. And if you stop streaming, that's going to be $1,000 something you just spent on that you might not use again. So at least $200 is way easier to swallow. So yeah, face cam, and then lighting. Make sure you get your lighting. Again, you can get real crafty with lighting. Real crafty. Okay. All right. Real crafty. And then a stream deck, because I think stream deck's great. Invest in yourself, learning and editing and stuff like that. And then once you start getting your monthly income and stuff like that going, then I would say get yourself that XLR set, that XLR microphone, right? Get yourself an XLR and stuff like that. Maybe upgrade your PC if it's struggling a little bit, but get that XLR microphone. Get yourself that, you know, got a webcam if you haven't got it by then. Get yourself some nice lights or whatever, you know, some cool lighting in the background that you can be like, oh, look, I have pretty RGB all over my room. So not a complete guide. Maybe next time I'll make a complete guide, but I did this a while ago and I wanted to remake this video. So thank you guys so much for watching it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for my chat. Also helping out, giving some suggestions up too. If you guys want some live suggestions from me, feel free to visit me on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday night, 8 p.m. EST. I'd really appreciate being able to give you an internet hug and say hello to you. So thank you guys so much. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button and the subscribe, and also comment down below. What was your favorite upgrade that you made so far as a content creator, or what do you plan on upgrading to next? I'd really love to hear about it. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the other side. I'm out.